Hi, everyone. Welcome to Crossing the Threshold with leadership coaches James Wilson Jr. and JC Fowler, a podcast for mission-driven leaders navigating what's next in life and leadership without losing what matters most.
What's up, y'all? This is James, and I'm here with JC. Today, we hit the capability threshold, and the question is simple. What do I bring to the table, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and how do I use it well? A lot of leaders feel behind, not because they're failing, but because they haven't named what they're carrying yet. That's where we're going today.
Is this easy for you to answer? What is one strength of yours?
Dude, yeah, it's hard. It's hard, man.
Right?
It's so difficult.
Right.
I would say that
You just can't pick out all of them, right?
I would
You're
say
like, man,
stop it. One strength is I'm good at asking questions.
verified. And I think our podcast listeners would verify. Would verify.
How about you?
All right, one strength. I can create systems of efficiency and workflow that save a ton of time.
It's good, man.
My brain works like that. I just think about it.
No, you're right.
We were just talking about
I've
it.
seen it in work.
Right.
Thank God for you. Yeah.
All right, so here's the language we're going to use today. Instead of a weakness, we'll call it a drain. What's one drain for you?
So what drains me is crazy. So it's not crazy, but what drains me is getting stuck in the weeds, right? Getting stuck in the details, what I would call it. So we have this like, back and forth where it's like, oh man, that's so draining to me. How about you, man?
No comment. So this is a strength of yours, which is great. If it takes me more than 5 minutes to come up with like a new idea, I'm done. Like I just immediately, the energy, I need a nap. Like I'm like, if it comes real quick, yeah, great. Yeah. And so I need to collect a bunch of information, hear what other people are thinking to come up with something innovative. Because I'm like, I just totally.
And that's where I live. I live there, and I'm like, dude, to ask so many people, it's like, let's just do it. Let's just go and let's try it out. And if it fails, all right, cool. Right. But yeah, no, I love it, man. That makes so much sense.
That's good.
It's good, bro. It's good.
All right, so we talked about capability isn't pretending you're strong everywhere. It's knowing what you bring and building around what you don't.
Yeah.
So that's what we want to talk about today, this idea that the capability threshold is all about identifying our strengths and weaknesses, what energizes us, what drains us. So we'll go strengths and drains today.
Yep.
I got a story about how one of my strengths can also become a drain on other people and how the awareness of that has become really important. Yeah. So in my language, we'll talk about some of these inventories later, but I like to use the word galvanizing. One of my strengths is to galvanize people, to motivate them to action, to rally people to action.
Yep.
My wife always tells me, wow, you have no problem asking other people to do things.
I confirm that as well. That's good.
It's true. But because of that, yes, I'm able to build teams and get people excited. Awesome. But until I recognize that not everyone because we like to lean into our strengths because they feel good. So we just kind of lean into them. Until I recognize that, I didn't realize, one, that not everyone comes alive doing that.
Right.
So I start thinking like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
And so there's a couple people on my team where that was actually a drain of them. And I'm thinking, man, what's wrong with you guys?
Right.
Like, don't
you should be doing this.
We are going to be with this people at this time. Of course you have 3 things in your head that you want to try and move them toward, right?
Yep.
And they're like, are you kidding me? That's crazy. So then at the same time, I learned that I get very easily frustrated when things aren't moving.
Yeah.
Now we know that one of the most important things for any worker, any person, any leader is to have that sense of progress, right? Like progress and engagement go hand in hand. So that is like a deeply true thing, but it is like a very deeply true thing for me.
Yeah, that's true.
And so you've seen me get frustrated of like things aren't moving. So I'm in a really interesting season. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you may have noticed that I have this super cool looking pillow strapped to my waist. And that's because I'm having these really bad back problems.
It looks like a reverse fanny pack. Like
it's like a reverse. Yeah,
it's good though.
It's like borderline hipster. Like I'm doing it. Although you got the golfer's hat,
Hey,
so
man,
I don't know.
We're in it together.
I don't
man.
know.
Let's go.
Oh man, I've been wearing the same thermal every episode. This is my podcast shirt. You know,
it's like the Steve Jobs thing. Like
Yes.
why create something new?
Steve Jobs.
Yep.
So, okay, so this happens and I have to slow down and, I've been pushing through, but come to this place. Hey, you actually can't get better if you push through the pain. Okay. That's a mindset shift. So then I get home last night and I'm flossing. Y'all should floss, by the way. Very important keystone habit right there. I'm flossing and practically my whole tooth falls out. I got this old cavity filling. Now I got to call the dentist. I'm having an existential crisis because all I'm thinking about is we had plans to move things forward and now I got all these stalls. So that for me becomes like, okay, here's what I'm capable of. I can move people to action. I'm tilted that way. And not everybody's built that way.
Yeah.
Plus I can get frustrated easily when things aren't moving. So
you know, it's interesting, man. I some of me believes that maybe this is payback, right? Like, I don't know.
What?
So just so people know, we were at an event together last week, working together, and we're working with these emerging leaders. You get on the microphone and you say, how many of y'all, who looks older, me or James? I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, how old does Unc look? Like, come on, man, this is what. And now here it is, you're falling apart. The age, I don't know, it's not a demon, but the age caught up with you as well.
It caught up quick, man. It caught up quick. Hey, I thought, look, black don't crack, bro. I thought you were good.
Hey, I am good. I'm good. I got a couple of folks that were like, oh man, 30 something. I was like, I'll take that. I'll be 40 in a couple of days.
Yeah, don't mention that dude that's at 50.
He was just
like,
trying to be funny, man. He was trying to be funny.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, man, I think as we think about this strength, it's so important for us to navigate when it comes to leaders that leaders don't need more motivation. Right? But we need to actually, and you started doing that, we need an inventory for what we have and how to take it a step forward. And I think as we talk about really involve ourselves in this conversation on strengths, it's not about ego as much as it's about stewardship. It's actually like, what do I do with this? It's not this whole thing of, oh man, I'm something's wrong with me because I have this strength or I have this drain. No, it's actually realizing that these are things that I have and I need to figure out how to work with them, how to work around them, how to invite my team into it, how to invite people that I love into this space.
Right.
And I think that that's something you've done well, is that you know the strengths and the drains. And even us working together, we kind of recognize each other's strengths and drains. And rather than getting upset with each other, now it's like, oh, that's just how he functions. So he wants to get things done or move things forward. It just looks different than the way I want to get things done or move things forward. So I want to kind of lean into that first to really, as we talk about strengths, let's talk about.
Let's go. Actually, as you're saying that, I'm like, ooh, maybe we need to zoom out for a second, which I think is totally your spot.
That's my space.
So we're making some assumptions.
Yeah.
And then correct me because we haven't talked about this, but here's the assumptions I'm making. Maybe you're making them, but I think our audience needs to hear them. One of those assumptions is that we are wired a particular way. That there are some inherent things.
Yep.
Doesn't mean they don't need to be shaped and formed and refined, but there's some inherent things about us.
It's who you are.
We have some strengths.
Yep.
We have some drains. So, okay, we have those
to the
things.
table with that. Yeah.
Right. Anything else? Any other? I was just thinking about that. Any other assumptions before we dig in?
The assumption I kind of hit on it before is that you're uniquely wired in some spaces, and I think when you lean into that, I think what we're getting at is that when you lean into those unique wirings, those unique strengths, there is what we're looking for. That's the fruit. That's the fulfillment. Right. I heard someone say it this way, and I'll break it down, that there are these 4 zones that we have. And he kind of put it in this way that I thought was really interesting, that we have zones that are bad, good, great, and then their uniqueness, right? And so a part of those zones are really important as we frame this conversation. It's that there are some things that I'm bad at. Let me frame it this way. So let me take a social approach to it. I'm bad at small talk. Like I'm just not good at it. I get frustrated from it. It drains me. I can't do it for a long period of time.
Yeah, you want to be like, why
are we here?
Why are we here?
Right?
What
Right. And so I don't like small talk. So I'm bad at it. But then there's things I'm good at. I'm relatively good at connecting with others, right? There's something that I'm good at, but it doesn't make me unique. It's actually something that's useful, but it's something that's not necessarily unique, right?
Okay.
But then there's things that we're great at. So when it comes to a social environment, I don't like small talk. I'm good with connecting with others. I'm great at stepping into uncomfortable spaces. I'm really good at stepping into uncomfortable conversations.
Facts. Yep.
In fact, people pay me for that. So there's this something there. But what I'm really good at, my unique ability, is not stepping into uncomfortable conversations, because even that can drain me, right? At times. What I'm really uniquely gifted at is asking questions. I don't have to work for that. I'm unusually effective at it.
Sure.
There's also this unique fulfillment for it, but I gain value, but others gain value as well. So there's a sense that in a social circle, I'm naturally an introvert and I'm naturally shy, but I also have a way now where I can show up into spaces and I can use my ability to ask questions to actually leverage that so it benefits me, right? So that's where, as we frame it, I'm kind of thinking through this idea that the assumption that I often make is that everybody knows this, right? This is just normal for people, but that's not the truth. We all have these layers to it. So
these layers. Okay. All right. So let's go into those strengths. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
So as you were saying, I'm thinking, just tell me how you discovered that. Like, how do we discover our strengths? You discovered that you are great at asking questions. And not that, I'm sure you also have thought carefully about how to be even better at that.
Correct.
But it is this innate thing. So how did you discover that?
So I think the discovery came from some of it just doing, right? Some of it just doing. It's when I look at what naturally gives me life, when I look at my life, when I look at, when I look at my day, what naturally gives me fulfillment. And it's usually asking questions. You can put me anywhere in the world, JC, on any space, in any place, and I will feel the most alive if I'm able to ask questions. And I think sometimes that comes across, before I get there, I think what that often does for me is it helps me. What people don't realize is that's more of a defense mechanism for me. It's more of a space that I feel so comfortable in. So what I realize is I begin to observe my life. So I'm naturally shy. I'm naturally an introvert. And so the way that I show up in settings, my wife loves it. She's an extrovert. She's like, I'm a show up. I love people, blah, blah, blah. I'm usually like, okay, how long is this going to be? How long do I need to be there? And I have to prep myself before I get into those environments. And the way I prep myself is, all right, cool. I don't have to be the star here. I just need to ask questions. I just need to lean in to what I'm already good at, right? And so to answer your question, the way that I discovered it is I just observed my life. It's something that over time, people have always said, you're really good at that. So before I had a title, before it made me money, before any of those things, before I showed up in any organization, when I was a kid that was always asking, why are we doing that?
Yeah, you got a daughter like that now.
Dude, I have a daughter. God is, dude, I feel, oh man, what a gift. But I do, it's like, so there's some breadcrumbs. I think that as you pull back the layers, there are breadcrumbs that help you discover what's your natural.
So here's what I'm hearing, some self-reflection,
Yep.
but also happens as we go.
We go.
And if there's anything that we want to double down on, it is about like we learn as we go, we're formed as we go on the way. But I also heard you mention community. Just reminded me the first time, one of the first times I realized that I was good at galvanizing, I was good at rallying people to action. That's when I was your volunteer at that youth center, and we were talking about the future. What do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know. I like what you do, but I don't think I could ever do that. I'm not sure. And you said, what do you mean? You said, look around. And then you counted like 7 of the 30 people present and said, you brought them here. And And then you said nice and gently, do you need a train to come through to tell you that you could do this? I don't know if you remember that. You did say that. No, I was hearing it though. It was real. But the point is that just like people were telling you as a kid, you're really good at asking questions. Is that we learn our strengths. They're like kind of relative in a sense, right? Like, how do you know you're tall? Well, because you're around other people and they're not that height, right? Yep. So people told you, oh, you're a great question asker. You told me, and other people told me, wow, you can really motivate people to action. You can move people to action. So I think that's a great way to help identify them too. Not to think like, well, I need to get alone and just think about it. I'm like, they're only ever realized
you got to do it
in the context of work and other people, and work takes on a bunch of different forms.
So I think you're right. It's the reflective piece of it's an activity that strengthens you, right? But it's also something that gives life or strengthens others. I think there is this play,
right? Like we don't want to lean into something like, well, I like it, and it crushes people.
That's cool. Yeah,
that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense.
But you just said you were quoting, I think, Marcus Buckingham, who founder of the Clifton Strength Finders, one of those inventories. Brilliant. And that's kind of the shift he gave for me, is that just because you're good at it doesn't necessarily make it your strength.
That's right.
I'm like, oh, okay. What are you talking about? What he's saying is strengths are the things that strengthen you. They give you energy, joy, fulfillment. Because the truth is, if we're on fire, then we're going to light the world on fire. And so to think about it that way, I think that's really good.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I want to pull back some of the layer on is the strength being, we almost have to go here, that there feels like there's a shadow side to your strength.
Yeah, I wrote that down.
Yeah.
I wrote down shadow side of strength while we were talking.
Well, lean into that.
That's so real. Yeah. So just like the kind of galvanizing thing, I can get frustrated, or I can maybe judge others for it. Yeah. I think that you said last episode that a strength overused is abused.
Yeah.
And I think that's so true, that if we're not aware of how we use our strengths, I mean, you were just talking to me about this wonder that you have and how you ask these big questions and how it was creating angst for you.
It does.
Right?
It does.
And it's like, wait a second, that doesn't feel like, if you will, the right use of that strength, almost like it's out of bounds. So I do think that's something to watch. It's like our impact on our teams and our organizations isn't necessarily just the things that drain us, but it's also our strengths improperly used.
Yeah. And I think you're right, because that improper use is usually it's at the wrong time.
Timing.
Right. It's timing. At the wrong time. And you taught me that. You actually, we were kind of navigating some of these inventories that we'll talk about in a minute. And you were like, man, this is a unique strength of yours, but it probably shows up a little bit off-putting for others when it's this time, right? And so we were talking about my ability to wander and to invent and to really, I'm always looking for the next idea. And so what I was labeled as once, and I don't think it was done maliciously, but I was labeled as once in a setting I was serving in, was, you're a contrarian. And I'm like, okay.
Because you ask questions.
Ask questions.
Wow. Right? And if people don't understand the heart behind your questions, and maybe it's a heart check too, they'll think that you're questioning them. Yeah. Wow.
So that right there, bro, that's a whole nother episode that we have to, as we're leading people, so we have to understand we have strengths, but there are other people that we're leading that have strengths, and we have to pay attention to that. Some people are not there questioning you, they're just asking questions.
Right.
Because their questions are actually what's going to help us move forward. Right. So I know that my unique strength is asking questions. It's seeing potential. It's being able to see there's a bigger picture here. However, if it's at the wrong time, if we're trying to implement, if we're like, hey, it's game day, like it's go, like we got to move forward. And I'm like, but what about? It's like, nah, that's the wrong time. And so it comes across then not in a healthy way. It comes across as a contrarian. That's, man, you're actually setting us back. And so I've got to do a little bit of inventory in my own self to say, okay, when's the best time to do this?
Right.
When's the best time to turn on the strength? And how do I've got to be mature enough to know, okay, one, this is my strength. Mature enough, two, to realize, okay, is this the best time to use that?
So I heard it said that the timing of your strength is just as important as the talent of your strength.
That's
which
good.
I'm like, wow. But the thing that you were getting at too is that it's not only critical as leaders that we identify our own strengths, but we need to be aware of the strengths of the people on our team. Maybe they are a great question asker, but when I know that, instead of thinking, man, you are the contrarian, or you're just always coming at, oh, wait a second, that's your strength. How do I help you leverage that in a healthy way? And I've even seen organizations that are, everyone has this one strength. They all love helping each other and being a team player, but nobody actually likes motivating people. And it's like, oh, that's why you guys are like nice to each other's face, but unkind behind closed doors, because you have this anyway. So organizations can take the shape.
Absolutely.
And the leader strengths, people say they count double. I think they count quadruple. Like they just shape that.
It's because it's those strengths actually begin to set culture. Those strengths begin to set, they actually are the foundation of the values of an organization. So you can have aspirational values that you're like, oh, we want to be, everybody's a family. But the reality is there's something behind that you have an idea of family that not everybody else does because of what, you know what I mean? So we've got to ask more questions. There I go again.
No, I love it. I think one of the things we want to hit home about strengths is that it's just human tendency psychologically. This has been proven in study after study, but you don't even need a study. You can just reflect on your own life. That if we tell you something you're not good at, immediately you think, I need to get better at that thing. Now, pause on that thought. Here's the overarching thought for strengths. This idea that your marginally improved weaknesses will pale in comparison to your maximally exploited strengths. Here one more time. Your marginally improved weaknesses will pale in comparison to your maximally exploited strengths. The ceiling on your weaknesses, or what we're calling your drains, is way lower than the ceiling on your strengths. So the idea would be we want to leverage our team, so situate our work where we could spend 80% of our time in those strengths. That doesn't mean you don't do things that drain you. That's not what I'm saying. This isn't some like Pollyanna perfect world. Anybody who owns a business, runs a business, part of a nonprofit, that is not how things work. However, can we think thoughtfully about, okay, what are the strengths of the people on my team? What are my strengths? And how do I do what only I can do? What's the best thing that I can do to move the mission forward as the leader? How do I leverage that?
So let's spend a little time, man, because we've danced on it a little bit, but we've talked about the strengths. Let's lean a little bit to the drains. Some of these things that some would call weaknesses, but I even think the language behind it is like, we spend so much time because we do start believing that it's this ego or it's character flaw, and we start personalizing weakness, and it's like, no, it's not a weakness. It's just a drain. It's something that you just don't get life from. You may have to do it, or you may have to work around it, but you do need to navigate it. So help us navigate a little bit.
No, I like that. So we could talk about the navigating part, but again, high level, and I feel like I just want to keep hitting this home, is that these drains, which I think that language is helpful instead of weakness, are the things that drain our joy, energy, and fulfillment, which doesn't mean that you aren't good at them. You can get good at them. And depending on where you're at in your career, you probably have gotten good at them. But we will have this like sense of guilt. I used to have this sense of guilt. I'm not great at coming up with novel ideas and solutions. Doesn't mean I can't be innovative. I have to innovate in a different way, but I'm just not great at it. And I used to think, oh, the leader is the person that comes up with the best ideas.
To do everything.
And being under you for a while, I internalized that. I'm like, oh my gosh, you got his idea. I can never be a leader. I can never be a leader. It's like, no, the leader helps get the things done, but that's why you have a team. What'd you say? If you're walking in a direction and no one's following you, you're just taking a walk. You're just going for a walk. Right. So I think that's part of it too, is that we could feel guilt around these things that drain us.
That's good, man.
That doesn't mean that we don't need a threshold competency. Now that's a term. What I mean by that is our weaknesses, our drains can't be such that they limit us or the organization.
That's good.
So we have to navigate that. And here's how I think about navigating them. We can do a couple things. One, I thought I wrote these down. I didn't. Great. So we can delegate them. We can like delegate, or we can borrow them if we identify. This is why it's really important to know other people's strengths. Hey, we need to come up with some brainstorming ideas. James, can you come into this meeting? This is going to be great. So we can delegate, we can borrow. depending on where you are in the organizational life cycle, you can hire for them. I would say that some of the mistakes that founders make is that they hire people like them. I think we do that in a lot of ways, but when the organization is small, it's easier to do that. Yeah. And so let's say you're a get it done kind of person and you love carrying it across the finish line. You hire a bunch of other people like that, and the innovation and the team building just goes total crap. You know, you're like, okay, what do we do? So we want to be careful so you can hire for it. But also, and we mentioned this, you can just naming it. There's people on my team that don't love the kind of last piece of the work cycle of like, okay, now we got to like grind it out, hash out the details, cross the T's, dot the I's. And so if we just name it and say, hey, we're going to spend this next hour or this week is going to be about this, it doesn't mean everyone's going to be like, yeah, this is awesome. However, we'll be like, okay. And when I see a team member, or maybe even self-talk, that is doing something that I know is a drain for them, they need double the encouragement. Hey, I see you doing that thing. I know you don't love it. I totally get it. And then the last one is this, and maybe you could talk about it, is energy management. So spit on that a little bit.
I think that it's important for you to recognize that there are certain times where you're not going to be excited or motivated to do those things. And so it may be something that's draining you, but what really, the reason it might be draining you is because it's the wrong time. So, right, like, again, back to timing, people, I think all of that's connected. I think about one of my strengths is, okay, I love the, spending time in the clouds, as you will. I love to come up with ideas. I'm relatively good. I'm okay when it comes to galvanizing. I'm okay when it comes to gathering people. That's not something I enjoy doing. And so I realize that it takes a significant amount of energy for me. So I don't need to do that when I'm already drained of energy, right? So I need to do that at a time where I'm actually full of energy. And another piece that you just mentioned, I think is really helpful, is it's doing it in the context of community. So for example, when you bring it home to someone, like, how do I do this in a family setting? How do you do it in a real setting? Okay, so we need people to get together. I don't love getting everybody together, but I do know I need to do it. So I'm like, okay, here's our chores. Everybody's got this, you got that, you've got this. Because what I would really love to do is talk about all the concepts, all the things that who we are as a family, what's our values, yada yada. My wife is like, I really need these dishes done, and I really need this floor swept. So the way I've kind of managed that energy is that, okay, let's all sit together. We're going to sit together for dinner. And after dinner, what I want us to do is this, that, and the third. So we do it. And what we've done at times is, let's do this for 15 minutes. Let's just do it, everybody together. We're going to clean. We're going to make the house better. And I just think that as you put time on something, so it's the right timing, but you need to put time-bound things on your energy. You need to make sure it's the right time. Like, I can't do this same type of work with my family when it's 12 o'clock at night.
Right.
Nobody's doing that, right? I can't have great conversations even with my wife when it's 11 p.m. Like, she tries, but it's like, it's a terrible thing. So I do think when it comes to energy, we really have to think through, it's not time management really as much as it's energy management.
Yes.
When am I the best at this? When I think it's Karen Newhoff talked about the different zones. Is this a green zone for me? Is this a yellow zone for me? Is this a red zone? Like, you have to figure that out. Again, that needs to go back to, okay, this is my strength. I need to look at it. But also, here's the next piece. You also know what's draining you by what people tell you, by how you show up. Like, essentially, this is draining you because every time there's an argument, every time you run into friction, it's because somebody is feeling a drain that you haven't named.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Like, you show up in the meeting and you suck all the room out, the air out of the room. And you're like, whoa, why did he just suck all the air out of the room? Like, dude, that was really intense. And we don't even realize, I love the question, like, what's it like to be on the other side of me? I just think that's a great question for any leader to ask. Yeah. If something drains you, don't do it tired, but what is it? Kiss the frog, right? Kiss the frog. And that sounds like, oh, no, it's really energy management. You have more, ours a green zone in the morning. You have time in the morning. Okay. Well, then you need to bite off that thing. That's right. That you need to do in the morning.
Dude, I think the best decisions I've made have been after I've eaten. Like,
Yeah.
I know I'm just one of those guys where I am terrible when I'm hangry. Like, I'm just not that. I had a staff that was like, my writing would change. Like, I love whiteboards. My writing would get sloppy. I'm now getting a little snarky. My questions now turn into critical questions.
Yeah.
Why aren't we doing this? Like, it's like, because I just need to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Dude, my man brings a banana wherever he goes. That is self-awareness,
it's real.
bro.
It's real.
We were at
I know me.
We were doing that leadership workshop, and you're like, I need to get a snack. Hold on.
Yep.
I was like, man, my guy knows.
There's no way I would have made able to produce. Yep.
My guy knows. I think one more point on that would be that the leader's behavior, attitude, energy is contagious.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
we create it.
Oh, man.
Now, I also want our leaders to hear that doesn't mean that you have to show up in every space perfectly, but we do have to cultivate the sort of environment, one, that you can demonstrate your vulnerability, say, hey, I'm feeling drained in general, or hey, guys, you know, this type of stuff drains me. But if we can do that, then we can create the space where someone can call you out on it. And I don't mean call you out like criticize you. I mean, say, hey, how's it going? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Hey, I noticed this.
Yeah.
And then we get to take a breath if we're open-handed and say, yeah, let me take a beat.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize. I can be very like gruff if I'm not in a good spot. Like, I will be curt and I'll be like, oh. But I've had my team say to me, hey, you okay? And I'll go, you know what? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come off that way.
Yeah.
Thank you. And there's forgiveness and it's good. And then guess what? We're back up to, we're a high performing team again, rather than like, oh, let's talk about the boss in the hallway. And blah, blah, blah. So
for me, you already know, just have emergency snacks. As long as we good. Like, I had one of my leaders, a mentor of mine, he would have emergency snacks for me. He knew, like, here you go. You just need to eat. So
I love it,
man.
So let's touch just real quick on personality inventories.
Let's do
it. Super quick, and then we're gonna get practical and land this plane. So we will talk about this on another episode. Personality inventories, I believe that they have a place. One of our favorite tools is the Working Genius tool. It's 20% personality inventory, 80% productivity tool. We love it because it's simple. It has these just 6 activities of work.
Yeah, and it's effective.
It's effective. There are 2 that energize you, 2 kind of middle of the road, and 2 that drain you. If that interests you, if you were like, man, I would love to learn more about how I'm uniquely wired. We didn't talk about this, but hey, we would love to give you a free coaching call.
Yep.
Reach out to us, podcast at cttleadership.com. I guarantee you that after an hour, it will literally change the way you lead. Yeah. And it brings us so much joy and energy just to see the lights turn on and go, oh, that's why this thing is happening. Yeah. So we're going to dig into some more of that in a different episode. Also, we'll shout out the Table Group. They have an entire podcast about the Working Genius. Mm-hmm. That I think is phenomenal. So you could binge on that and really be edified and educated at the end of it.
Let's do that.
Yeah, we could talk personality inventories, love-hate relationship. We could talk about them more, but we'll pause that there. Let's get practical.
Yeah.
All right. So what we need to do is identify our strengths and our drains.
That's it.
Right. So whether that's a personality inventory that's going to help you do that, we could do it in the context of community. That's important. Remember that it happens on the way. We want to identify that strength, and then we want to configure our time to do more of that.
Yeah, that's it, dude.
Right. That's really it. And then the drain is, okay, what are the things that drain me? And we talked about some ways earlier. You can delegate, you can borrow it, you can name it. You definitely want to manage your energy around it. So one strength, one drain. I'll say this: capability grows when you lean into strengths and stop shaming the drains. Yeah. And instead build around it, navigate it with empathy.
Yeah.
All right. So give us our challenge, man. We got something there.
I would just say, man, go forward. At the end of, I want you to go home, take your notepad out. At the end of the day, write strengths, drains, and just really look at, okay, what was the strength that I had? What was the drain that I had? How did it affect others?
Right. Yeah.
How do I move forward? I would say start there.
That's simple. Yeah. Just every day. Do it for a week. Do it for a week. And you'd be so surprised if you just carve out that time. Yep. Set an alarm on your phone. See? Systems, efficiency, implementation.
There it is. He's already on it. I'm like, big ideas. What do you want the meaning of life to be? He's like, but we got to do that.
No, it's so good. We love this stuff. We love having these conversations with you. And we want to help. If you have not downloaded the Threshold Starter Guide, if you're feeling stuck, if you're wondering, is it for me the capability capability threshold? Am I not aware? What would be the next step to do that? If you're feeling overwhelmed, you want to grow, but you're not sure, okay, what is the lever that I need to pull? Yeah. Please download the Threshold Starter Guide. 5 minutes it'll take you, and we guarantee it'll change the way you lead and live. It has for us. You can get that at cttleadership.com or just check out the description in the show notes. But I'm JC. This is James. Until next time, guys.
Until next time.
We'll see you.
We'll see y'all. Thanks for watching Crossing the Threshold with James Wilson Jr. and JC Fowler. If this helped you take a step forward, like, subscribe, and share it with another mission-driven leader navigating their own threshold moment. Until next time, keep moving forward with courage and hope.